When people talk about the Latino vote, they use it as a kind of umbrella term to refer to Mexican Americans, Puerto Ricans, Cuban Americans. The list goes on and on and on. There's not necessarily a Latino bloc, a group of Latino voters, certainly not that votes the same way. There's no such thing as the Latino vote, but there are truly millions of Latino voters across the country whose voting behavior and political beliefs we need to try to understand. There was a lot that was surprising about the Latino vote on Tuesday night. Southern Florida, Miami-Dade County in particular, Biden's support among Latinos was lower than he would have hoped.
I think the work that Donald Trump has been doing, he's been doing right, and he's going to continue. And especially in the Cuban community, everybody's happy.
Arizona may go for a Democrat for the first time since 1996.
We had Donald Trump and we saw how he thinks, so maybe we need a change.
Even though Biden may well still hold on to Nevada, largely because of Latino voters. I feel like in the run-up to the election, there was so much attention to how this, group of 300,000 newly registered Latino voters in Texas would help make the state purple, maybe even help it flip for the first time since 1976. Texas was in fact closer than it was even in 2016, but I think it's also notable that these kind of heavily Mexican American counties in South Texas moved toward Donald Trump. Ever since Richard Nixon's re-election in 1972, the Republican presidential candidate has won about a quarter or a third of the Latino vote. Sometimes it's gone a little up, sometimes it's gone a little down. I think what's truly curious about this moment is that I don't know that anyone would have predicted that Donald Trump would have been the Republican candidate to even expand Latino support beyond what it was in 2016. But if he wins close to 34 or 35%, I mean, that's what Ronald Reagan won in the 1980s at a moment that the Republican Party was much more inclusive. I mean, Reagan famously said that we don't need a border wall between the United States and Mexico.
Rather than making them or talking about putting up a fence, why don't we work out some recognition of our mutual problems?
Just contrast that with a candidate who started his campaign by calling Mexican immigrants rapists, murderers, and thieves.
Mexico sends its people. They're not sending their best.
And whose first administration has really been defined in some ways by anti-immigrant policy and, of course, all the chance to build the wall. Yet he's winning the same amount of Latino support that Ronald Reagan won in the 1980s. One of the ways in which Donald Trump is similar to Ronald Reagan is that he tried to reach out to Latinos by a kind of broad-based appeal related to ideological issues. And the drumbeat has been pretty persistent, having to do with economic uplift of Latino communities, religious freedom. Both parties actually have been guilty of saying that Latinos are natural Democrats or natural Republicans. And I just don't think Latinos are naturally anything. It's not like we're born Democrats or Republicans. Our partisan identities develop as a result of our family relationships and our conversations in our community and our sense of what's right and just in the world. And it develops over a long period of time. I think Chuck Rocha, who worked for the Bernie Sanders campaign, really has it right when he says that candidates and campaigns need to engage Latino communities on the ground in different places year-round, even when they're not looking for their votes. And I think that means establishing a presence in Latino communities and listening to Latinos and learning about the things that make Latinos different, that make us similar, what motivates us to engage politically and to want to have an investment in politics in the United States.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.